Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about my favorite makeup products of 2022. This has been a year where I tested out so many amazing products, whether it's from Western Beauty, K-Beauty, affordable and more expensive options, and I'm here today to show you guys the absolute best of the best from this entire year. I'll talk about these in the order of application, and honestly, no particular order. Some of them you'll see me demonstrate on my face, others I'll just be doing a shout out because I obviously couldn't put everything on my face, but rest assured, these are the best of the best. I'll start with primers. This year, the two Rare Beauty primers really has stolen my heart, and they are the Pore Diffusing Primer alongside the Illuminating Primer. These two are absolute killer combinations. I love the Pore Primer. It really just fills everything in without being overly silicone-y. It makes the makeup last a lot longer and just glide right on it. The Illuminating Primer really just gives your skin such a healthy and beautiful glow to it that really just emphasizes on how healthy your skin is. It isn't overly chunky or glittery. This one is just amazing. Love using these two together and would definitely purchase the full size. One foundation stood out to me this year, and it is the AMUSE Dew Jelly Vegan Cushion. Now, if you guys saw when I tried it out, I wasn't very impressed with it. I thought, there's like literally zero coverage. It doesn't really do anything. But the more I wore this, the more in love I am with it. And it really matches my idea of what a foundation should look like. I opt for light to medium coverages because most of my coverage come from my concealer, and I don't really need this to be super full coverage. This gives your skin such a healthy, again, glow and really does look dewy. It doesn't have too much of a coverage to it, but it really evens out your skin tone and is a great base and hence foundation. I think this one is really just light and easy to glide onto the face. It feels really good. It lasts all day actually, and it doesn't cake up or bunch up on your skin. This is just a lovely wearing foundation, and it is quite special as a formula. It doesn't really have the typical cushion. It has a mesh over it, and even the foundation itself feels like a bit of a jelly, and I just think this one is absolutely phenomenal. I have this in the shade 02 Nude, and this does have SPF in it, which is incredible. Love how it looks on my skin, and if you just want to even out your tone and have a really clear base, this is it for you. For concealer this year, one really stood out to me, and this is the Luna Concealer. This is their Tip Concealer, which is a bestseller and one of the best selling concealers in K-Beauty, I feel like, especially on Olive Young. And this one honestly is just so good for the price. I think it's around $14, but it performs like something that would be $30 and $40. It is absolutely phenomenal on the skin. It has great coverage. It doesn't dry or settle into your lines, and this is mask proof. Well, not necessarily proof, but when you wear your mask, this still stays onto your skin and looks nice. I've tested this so many times when I go out, and this one is just always stays on my skin. It never really bunches or cakes up. It just works so well on anything. And the coverage, like I said earlier, it is phenomenal. It has the most high and full coverage you'll ever see, and it's creamy. And I think this is a step up from the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer, which I love so much, and I'm almost done with it. This one is just one of the best concealers I've tried on the market ever. I feel like this is definitely my number one. I cannot go without this one, and I highly recommend you guys try it. The formula is gorgeous. They also have color correctors and all of those. It is just one of the best. You need to try it. Now, we all know my favorite setting powder of all time is the Eclipse Pore Powder Pact, and we all know that I have made a huge pan in this one. And after they discontinued it, I tried the About Tone Pore Powder Pack, which is the same company but reformulated and rebranded. I'm not sure why they did that, but this one is honestly just phenomenal, and I think I cheated a little bit because it's technically the same product, but I really love this About Tone powder as well. It's fairly new. I'm trying to finish this one up, but same difference. It just really airbrushes your skin. There is no other way to say it except for it just glides on and puts a veil on your skin, and it just sets it the most beautiful way. It also makes it last a lot longer, and your makeup literally will look flawless. It does have a little bit of coverage to it. It's not really heavy. You can't use it as a foundation or anything, but that's something to keep in mind. But just use it with a really light hand, and it will look so good on, oily skin and like really sweaty summer days. This will hold up all day. It is absolutely insane. I love this one. And if you don't want it to be too full coverage, you can just get a really loose powder brush and dunk it in and just sweep it really quickly, and it will set your makeup. Your makeup will look phenomenal, trust me. Something else I tried out this year is the Hourglass Finishing Powder Palette. This is the Ambient Lighting Powder, and honestly, this one is really worth the hype. This is a finishing powder, so what you want to do is you don't want to set with this. You want to set your skin, and afterwards take this and really buff it in areas where you want to either reblend out your blush, bronzer, all those things, or just want to give your skin a little bit more luminosity. If you use a really matte foundation, concealer, and setting powder, this one will really bring some liveliness and juiciness back into your skin, and it just works really well. It's super expensive, and I hate that I love it because it's $100 for 3 powders, but honestly, I've used it for a whole year and I haven't made too much of a progress. Sometimes I'll use this one just around my cheeks to make it look like it's a bronzer, and honestly, it is worth the hype. It is really awesome. Hourglass just makes some of the best products on the market, and this one is no exception. Definitely worth the viral hype. For highlighters this year, I really just have been reaching for 2 highlighters, and they are the Clio Prism Highlighter Duo in number 1 Cream Fizz. These are 2 cream powder highlighters, and they are just so glittery and shiny, and it just gives your skin this creaminess that doesn't look like it's artificial. If you put a lot on, obviously it will be really glowy, but normally you can see how that just makes my skin look so soft. I love this cream highlighter, and I always love to put this on whenever I want to have a really glowy cheek, and this is just something I've been reaching for a lot. Every time I use a highlighter, this is basically my go-to, and you guys know, love to put my highlighter before my blush just to make it a little bit more subtle, and again, that lit from within look, and this one is perfect for that. You can see the one at the bottom has more of a pigmented base, whereas the top has a more transparent and jelly base. Honestly, what I do is I just sweep both of them together and use it, and it looks really gorgeous. Love this one. It's a natural yet buildable blinding highlight. And another one I really love is from the Goss Cheek Duo palette. This is in the shade Desert Bloom, and I really love this highlighter as well. It has a more traditional powder and, you know, opaque background highlight, but it's still one of those really, look how pretty that is. It's one of those that doesn't really emphasize your texture and really just gives your skin a very healthy look. It has a hint of peachiness to it, which I think is gorgeous. It complements the blush so well. I love this blush. I think this blush is one of the best I found on the market. It's a very neutral colored blush, leaning a little bit more pink, but I just think this is something you can wear every single day, and you guys saw that it can be really pigmented, so definitely buff it out a little bit. And this is a buildable coverage and something you can just honestly wear for any occasion. It is one of the best powder formulas. It feels like it is a cream because that's how finely milled it is, and it is beginner friendly, age friendly, anyone can use it. I love this one. Goss killed it with this formula. Some blushes I also loved this year were from Patrick Ta and Clinique. So the Patrick Ta one we all know is iconic for its duo cream and powder formula, and this is in the shade She's Blushing. I just think this is one of the most innovative products ever, and it's a 2-in-1, so it's very convenient. And I do love using the powder first and then the cream on top. I feel like it really just makes your skin look more skin-like rather than really heavy and powdery. And this revolutionized the way I wear my makeup, because nowadays I usually go in with a powder and then layer on top with another cream or putty product. So this one is gorgeous, and I do find Patrick Ta products to be slightly darker on their website, like the colors, it looks a lot more saturated. So in real life you can definitely share it out so it's wearable, and don't be afraid by the website pictures. I know I definitely was, especially She's Blushing, She's So LA, those looked intense, but on my skin it just looks like a beautiful flush. This Clinique powder blush is also absolutely gorgeous. This is a Cheek Pop in the shade 05 Nude Pop. Again, this is just one of those products that you can really just wear every single day. This one's a lot more muted than the Goss one, but it can really build up to something intense, and this is more of a beige tone. It has micro shimmers in it, which makes it a satin finish, which I really enjoy, and I just think it works really well on any single day. Again, it complements every look that I do. It's warm tone, and I just think you can really not go wrong with these products. It feels like it's a bit hard in the pan, but it's really creamy once you put it onto the face and pick it up with a brush. And I just really love the flower imprint on it. I've been using this one a lot as well this year, and I highly recommend you guys try it out. Another blush I've been loving a lot is from Charlotte Tilbury. Charlotte Tilbury is just one of those brands that you really can't hate, and it just keeps on popping up everywhere, and it's worth it. This is the iconic Cheek to Chic Pillow Talk Blush and Highlight Duo. I absolutely love this one. This has, again, the most beautiful shade that is neutral. This is leaning towards a satin finish. It has some micro shimmers in it, and you do have this kind of highlight shade in the center where you can pair it together with your blush to give it a bit of a glow. But I would say this is more like a blush topper. I usually just sweep all of these together and chuck it on my cheeks. This one just works really well. The powder's finely milled. It looks beautiful for every day, and there's a lot of product in here, so you won't be running out anytime soon. Only complaint is the packaging is it looks a bit like a boob, if I'm being honest. For years, I've been seeing this on my feed on like Instagram, and I wanted to try it, but I just can't get over this pattern. It just looks a bit, I guess I'm immature, but you know, this is really pretty and I think it's worth it. Charlotte Tilbury killed it once again. For bronzer slash contour this year, I've been loving my Too Cool for School Art Class by Rodin. This is a trio. Usually what I do is just sweep all of these together, sometimes leaning the two lightest shades, and I've actually used this as a brow product a lot. So I usually take the darkest and fill in my brows. That's something I love to do. I think it makes my face look more coherent, and this is just a really nice powder because it is so light, and the thing is you can definitely build up the coverage. This is really good for anyone who wants to try start contouring or bronzing but are scared you're going with a heavy hand. This is a great training wheels product, and I've been reaching for it tons. You can kind of see the rings showing up, so hopefully I can hit pan soon. Amazing. Even though this is advertised as a contour product, I find this leaning more warm, except for the middle shade. That's quite cool. The other two are actually quite warm, so definitely use it as a neutral bronzer. Highly recommend and love it. For brows this year, I've been really lazy. I haven't tried out that many new things, but still loving the L'Oreal Brow Plump and Set. This one is just a wonderful brow gel. I'm almost out of it. It's pigmented. It has some microfibers in it to really fill in those edges, and it lasts all day. Literally nothing wrong with it. It's affordable. It's accessible. It's just so good. You guys need to try it out, and I will definitely be repurchasing this over and over again. Now let's talk about some eyeshadow palettes. I narrowed down my top 3 of the year, and I predominantly use my Tom Ford Honeymoon eyeshadow quad for today's look, and this is a baked geely kind of formula, and this is a warm tone quad where you really have a one and done shadow for all of these. You can see that this shadow, I used it for all of the lids and it just blended so easily. It is a satin finish, so it has those micro shimmers that makes it really skin-like and stunning. I love using the red as a little bit of an accent on the under eyes, and this darkest shade as an eyeliner, or if I want to smoke it up, further emphasis. And this top gold shade is a true shimmer, so you can put it on the inner corners or, just highlight brow bone, all those things. This is a great quad and it's so versatile. I've been using it a ton. I actually had to put it away so I would give my other palette some love. This is a really stunning palette. Even though it only has 4 shades, every shade is usable, every shade is phenomenal, high quality and worth the hype. It's very expensive, so it's definitely a splurge kind of product, but if you can wait for it to go on sale, this is definitely worth it. It's my favorite type of formula from Tom Ford, and I will never stop recommending it. Absolutely gorgeous. I also have Body Heat, which is the same formula, but it's more cool tone. So if you want to see more like comparisons of Tom Ford eyeshadow quads, let me know down below and I'll make a video for that. But in the meantime, this one is my favorite for the year. My second favorite palette is from Dasique. This is the 11 Chocolate Fudge eyeshadow palette, and this is a very viral product on the internet, especially IG. I see a lot of people using it because it looks adorable. It looks like a chocolate bar, and just how minimalistic and stunning are these pictures. Dasique is a wonderful KBE brand, and I find this palette to be the most pigmented with the mattes out of all their palettes, and these shimmers are truly phenomenal. I love these glitter shades. They are multi-dimensional, they're holographic almost, and they have a clear base, so no matter what look you have on, you can just pat 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 and it will be there. In my eyeshadow declutter videos, you would have seen me use them. They are some of my favorite formulas of all time and never will part with this. Highly recommend you guys try Dasique's glitter shadows. They are one of the best on the market, if not the best. It truly gives your eyes a wet-like look, and this is my favorite from them. It's a very neutral everyday brown palette. It's a little bit boring, but it's something I use a lot, so I think definitely give it a go if you love neutral browns. Another palette I tried this year that I love is Pat McGrath's Bronze Seduction. This one, I just cannot stop talking about how gorgeous it is. I feel like this was the height of Pat McGrath palettes. I'm not going to lie, the latest releases haven't excited me as much. I feel like she's really playing it safe with those pink neutral palettes, which I think is smart when it comes to commercial users, because a lot of people will buy those palettes because the colors are more wearable and user-friendly. I really miss when she came out with more experimental palettes and more daring color choices as well as formulas. I think these duochromes and bake shades were the height of her formulation, and this palette, even though it's more on the boring side, I do love it, and I love these special shades. This red is one of the best ruby reds out there. It's opaque, it's easy to blend, and I think it's reminiscent of the Tom Ford palettes, but even more finely milled, and I just love these duochromes. They are so pretty, and you really cannot beat it. This is one of the most special palettes out there, and I just find myself getting really inspired every time I use this. I love patting on one of these shades. It just transforms my entire look into something special, and every shade here is wearable. The mattes are a lot more smoother and nicer than her Midnight Sun palette, which I also have, and I have detailed reviews on both of these palettes, but gorgeous palette, highly recommend. And I think if you were to splurge on a Pat McGrath palette, definitely consider this one because it's still wearable, but it has some more of these experimental shades and formulas which can really transform a look and make it different. For eyeliners this year, I've been using a lot more cream and gel liners, so I used the Clio So Simple waterproof pencil liner. This is one I've been loving, and as a felt tip, I'm still loving my Heroin Make Smooth liquid eyeliner. This one is just one of the best on the market. I think it has a fine tip and it really stays all day. These both stay a really long time, and I just think they are fabulous. Really love them, and I think you guys should check it out. For mascaras, one really stood out to me this year. This is the Clio Kill Lash Super Waterproof Mascara in Sleek Volume 03. This one just blew me away. It is a really sleek and long applicator, and this one actually does give you volume. It stays all day, it holds my curls, and the thing is, it doesn't smudge or transfer. That's the most important thing ever, and this one just has everything. It makes my lashes look long but not spidery. It makes it voluminize but not clumpy. This one is just so good. The only downside is it's a little bit hard to remove, so you really need to get in there with your oil cleanser or balm and rub it on your eyes like so. Keep it like that for a while and then gently massage it in. You don't want to like press and rub, that will disturb and irritate your eyes, but this one is just one of the best on the market, and I highly recommend you guys try it out. For lip liners, I found that there were two that really just stood out to me this year. First one is from Wayne Goss. This is the Essential Lip Pencil in the shade Mauve. It's just so perfect for every day. It's a little bit more pink, and it just is something that really helps juice your lips when you want to overfill a little bit, and is a great guideline. It works with most shades in my collection because it's warm and it has that pink that's very similar to my lip color, so it just looks like my natural lip. Really love the formula. It's smooth, it's pigmented, and it's just long lasting. It's the perfect mix between creamy and waxy, and it is a typical pencil, so you do want to sharpen it. I do keep mine sharpened every once in a while, maybe like a fortnight. I need to sharpen it because you still want to get rid of all the parts that have been used for hygiene purposes. Really love this one. Another one I've been loving is from Patrick Ta. This is the Precision Lip Crayon. I love the shape of this. It looks more like a brow pencil, if I'm being honest. It has that square look to it, and What I love about this one is because it's square, you can kind of use it to fill in more areas and draw out especially where you want your lips to have the liner. You can use it as a base and then put a gloss on, or you can use it to overline. This is a beautiful shade. This is the shade She's Proud. It's a little bit more cool toned and it's just this beautiful mauve pink. And I really like how to actually get the liner to come out, you actually click instead of twist. I think that's quite special and unique. One thing I would say is because it's a clicker, once you click it up, you can't bring it down. So be careful, don't make it too long, otherwise it will smush in the lid. For lip products, 3 really stood out to me. And the one I've been reaching for the most is from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the KISSING lipstick and in the shade Stone Rose. This is a very everyday orange and brown pink, and you can really sheer it out to something that is a lot more wearable. Let me make it prettier. That swatch was horrible. It's more like a satin finish and it has a balmy texture as well to give it a little bit of a glow. Very comfortable on the lips, and I just think this shade is something that I love because you can wear it really bright or you can just, you know, smudge it out to give the tiniest tint on your lips. It is very, very pretty and it's definitely an MLBB color and I love wearing it for just any day, honestly. It's really, really pretty. You can build it to be a little bit more glam or you can make it every day. Really, really fun. Another formula I rave about is MAC's Powder Kiss lipsticks. 2 shades I really enjoy are Devoted to Chili. It's this really bright brick red and it's just one of the softest formulas out there. It's comfortable on the lips, yet it gives that matte finish, so you don't really feel like it's overly slick or oily. It's just such an innovative technology for this lipstick, and again, you can build it up to something really bright, almost like a faux red if you don't want like a bright red. You can also sheer it out or combine it with another lipstick to make it an ombre lip. So this is in the shade Mullet Over, another one I've been loving. This is more peachy. You really want to use some of that Devoted to Chili on the center and then that Mullet Over shade as an all over base color. These are so comfortable. You guys need to try it out. It's the most comfortable matte formula I've ever tried, and this Powder Kiss lipstick does last all day. It doesn't necessarily tint, but it also doesn't transfer that much. It does transfer more as compared to, for example, liquid lipsticks or lip tints, but this wears pretty long, and I think once you reapply, it actually is really easy to reapply. It doesn't dry out your lips and leave those flaky bits. So this one is just a really, really lovely formula. So many shades to choose from, and I think you'll definitely find one that you love. Last but not least, a lip tint I loved this year is from Espoir. I used this in a try on video. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's just called Velvet Tint, but this is in Mandarin Jello and it's the most fun shade for the summer. It is this true orange shade, and this tint is so light on the skin. You can see it's quite transparent as well. It just dries, and once it does dry, it will not budge. You put a little bit on your center and it looks like you literally just ate a ice block and it tinted your lips. Such a pretty and fun orange shade that is just really, really playful and lively. I love this one and I think I'll be wearing it a lot in the coming months where it's a lot more warmer. Now for glosses and glossy lips, I have 2 that I really love. The first one is a true gloss. This is the Lifter Gloss from Maybelline in the shade Moon, and I honestly think this one is better than the Fenty one, which it was marketed as a dupe for, because this one is not as sticky. It's more reflective and less pigmented with the base, but it really just juices up the skin and lips. I feel like once I put this on, my face just feels a lot more plump, and this has the best reflective glitters and shimmers ever. I love how neutral this shade is. It's comfortable to wear, it lasts a long time, and it doesn't string. It has everything I love in a lip gloss and it's affordable. Really, really love this one. Now this one is technically a lipstick, but I see it as more like a lip balm that's tinted. This is the YSL Rouge Voluptuous Share, and this is in the shade 151. It is the most beautiful bright orange shade, and what I love to do is, you can see how scary and bright it looks, but honestly, once you just take your fingers and blend it out, it gives the most subtle shine to your lips. And you can see I really love orange lipsticks lately. This one is just so pretty, for a glossy look. And the thing is, because it's more like a balm texture, it doesn't really settle into your dry lip bits. This one really, I just see it as a tinted lip balm because it helps actually moisturize my lips. It feels really comfortable and it gives micro shimmers and reflections on your lips. You can fade it out, you can wear it a little bit more boldly, but it doesn't really ever build up. It's just going to layer and look more glossy. So I see this as a glossy lipstick and I highly recommend you guys try it out. I bought this year during, I think it was their National Lipstick Day. It was buy one get one free, so really recommend this formula, and now I'm curious for more in the line. Last but not least, my favorite setting spray for this year is the MAC Fix Plus. I can't believe I waited this many years to try it out. This one is so worth the hype in every single way because it has a fine spritz. It really helps lock in the makeup and settle for so long. It wears really nicely and it doesn't actually disrupt the makeup. Sometimes I know makeup setting sprays are meant to melt the makeup, so it disrupts it a little bit, but this one just makes it settle in a lot nicer. Really love the spritz on this one, and I love how the cap moves around to help you lock it in. Before we finish up, I'm going to talk about some other beauty favorites of this year. We'll start off with some nail polish. I really love my Holo Taco. These are so reflective. You can see the amount of holographic shimmers in it, and these wear so long as well. And it's one of those formulas where you can't stop looking at your nails. It's just so glittery. I cannot stop raving about them, and I'll definitely be repurchasing more from the brand. These are just some of the best glitter nail polishes ever. Christine really killed it and I need to get more. Something else I want to talk about is my favorite perfumes. The latest one to my collection is Ariana Grande's Cloud. This one is worth it, and this one is viral for a reason. It really just does smell super delicious. It's like marshmallows mixed with strawberries, and it's just such a creamy and yummy gourmand scent. I have used so much of it lately. It's all I've been reaching for basically, and I just think it's one of those perfumes that nobody can hate. It's a very compliment getting perfume, and it's on the sweeter side, so you might think it's a bit sticky, but the best remedy for that is just to wear it on days where it's a little bit cooler. If it's a really hot day, probably opt for something more like fruity and citrusy. But I have been using this one a lot lately because it's been a little bit colder and more windy, and I cannot stop using it. Definitely worth the hype. Another perfume I've been loving is the Jo Malone Peony and Blush Suede. This is a crowd pleaser. Again, this one is definitely a little bit on the sweeter side. You'll find most of my favorite perfumes are sweet. This has almost a fruity scent to it. It has some of that apple, but that peony really comes through. It's really soft, and the suede gives it some more ground. This is a beautiful everyday perfume. You can literally wear it for any occasion, and I'll definitely get this in the full size. I've been trying to savor it because it's really pretty, but I think I'm going to just use it and then buy a full size. This one is my favorite Jo Malone perfume ever. Last but not least, Bal de Freak by Byredo. This is my favorite perfume ever. This has topped Lancome's Tres Bar Midnight Rose, which you guys know has been my favorite perfume for ages, but this is my favorite now. It's the most beautiful mango milkshake, and it smells so fresh and natural as well. It literally just doesn't smell synthetic. It smells like you're carrying a mango piece or like a dried mango bit on your like pocket or something. And this one is just such a sophisticated fragrance that I think is worth the hype. I have been using it a ton as well. You can see that I made some decent progress with it. This is one definitely I would recommend splurging on. It is very pricey, but see if you can get it on some like discounts or use some rewards codes, etc. This one is my favorite out of all Byredo fragrances I have sampled and tried and got in a full size. If you guys are into fresh mango citrus scents, this is your way to go, and it is one of the best perfumes on the market. Well guys, that's it for today's video. That concludes my favorite beauty products of 2022, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video and took away some product recommendations that you want to try out yourself, because honestly speaking, some of these are just holy grails ever, and I'm glad I tried them out this year. And there have been products I've been reaching for a lot myself, so you know they're things that I have been reaching for as well, even though some of them don't have clear progress. Trust me, I'm trying my best to pan these products, and I just cannot stop raving about all of these. So really hope you guys try out some of these and let me know down below what were your favorite products of 2022. And that is it for today's video. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up or even subscribe to my channel. That would mean a lot to me. And comment down below what other videos you would like to see from me. And I can't wait to see you guys in the new year. Bye guys.